Okay, student. Good morning. Nice meeting you again this morning on my lecture. The lecture is about entrepreneurship, leadership, and da'wah for the 5th semester student of English education, Sultan Ageng Islamic University. Okay, student. Our topic today is about the organization as a leader. How? Before I start to the focus of our learning today, let me go and deliver the objective of our study. The objectives are: first, students are able to comprehend the concept of types of organizers, model of organizers, and the organizational requirements. The second objective, students are able to mention types of organizers, models of organizers, and organizational requirements. The third, students are able to discuss and compare among types of organizers, models of organizers, and organizational requirements. The fourth, students are able to analyze from types of organizers, model of organizers, and organizational requirements which one is better in their society and environment. Okay. Monica will ask you first about, is the organizational leader? When we are going to answer this question, we'll have to discuss. So, our discussion will be necessary. In more detail, various matters related to understanding the organization and the leaders, or leaders as organizers. The scope of our discussion includes: first, the types of organizers or leaders; secondly, models of organizers or models of leaders; and then the third, organizational requirements or the leaders' requirements. Okay, it means the organizer here is a leader, and then the organizational requirements here about the requirements for leadership. Okay, now we come to the first topic. That is about types of leaders or types of the organizers. According to Mr. Dr. Asfizain Chaniager, SPD and SI, in 2015, here are some types of organizers or leaders that can differentiate the understanding of the clarity of characteristic and descriptions of a leader. There are 5 types of the organizers of leaders. The first is autocratic type. Secondly, militaristic type. The third, paternalistic type. The fourth, charismatic type. And then the last type is democratic type. Membeka will deliver one by one for those of types. There are 5 types there. And then for the first type, autocratic type. An autocratic leader is a leader who has the following criteria or characteristics. The criteria or the characteristics are: regard the organization as a private property, align personal goals with the organizational goals, consider subordinates as mere tools, do not accept criticism, suggestion, and opinions. 2. Dependent on formal power. Those are the characteristics of the autocratic type. In the act of mobilizing, the leader often uses an approach that contains elements of concern and is punishing. Okay, we come to the second type, militaristic type. It should be noted beforehand that what is meant by a leader of the type of militarism is different from that of a leader of a military organization. A leader who is a militaristic type is a leader who has the following characteristics. 1. In moving subordinates, the command system is used more frequently. Secondly, in moving subordinates, they are happy to depend on their rank and position. The third enjoys extravagant formality. The fourth requires high and rigid discipline from subordinates. And then the fifth, difficult to accept criticism from subordinates. And then the last, loves ceremonies for various circumstances. This is a type of militaristic leader. And now we come to the type of paternalistic leader. A leader who is classified as a paternalistic leader is someone who has the following characteristics. 1. Regarding his subordinates as immature humans. 2. Being too protective. The third, rarely does it provide opportunities for subordinates to make decisions. The fourth, rarely does it give subordinates the opportunity to take the initiative themselves. And then, rarely does it provide opportunities for subordinates to develop their creativity and fantasy. The last always be more understanding than others. Okay, that is paternalistic. Oh, sorry. That is the third type of a leader, paternalistic type. And now we come to the fourth, charismatic type of a leader. And then now, experts have not succeeded in finding the reasons why a leader has charisma. It is generally known that such leaders have enormous appeal, and because of this, they generally have a very large number of followers. Although the followers are often unable to explain why they follow the leader, due to a lack of knowledge about persons causes being a charismatic leader, it is often only said that such leaders are endowed with supernatural powers. Wealth, age, health, profile cannot be used as a criteria for charisma. We come to the last type, democratic type. Knowledge of a leadership has proven that a democratic type of leader is the most appropriate for modern organization. This happens because this type of a leadership has the following characteristics. 1. In the process of mobilizing subordinates, the starting point is always the opinion that humans are the nobles, creators in the world. Secondly, always try to synchronize the interests and the goals of the organization with the personal interests and goals of those of their subordinates. The third, be glad to receive suggestions, opinions, and even criticism from his subordinates. The fourth, always try to prioritize cooperation and teamwork in an effort to achieve goals. 5. Has a willing to give the widest possible freedom to his subordinates to make mistakes which are then corrected, so that the subordinates no longer make the same mistakes. Number 6, always trying to make his subordinates more successful than him. 7, trying to develop personal capacity as a leader. And now, after you know about the 5 types above of the leader, which is your type, so you need to think and analyze. And now we come to the second topic, that is about models of leaders, or model of the organizers. Several models that adopt an organizational approach and providing an explanation for a detailed understanding of the leader and a leadership model are as follows. Okay, there are some models. There are 9 models that Mameka will deliver here related to the leader's model. The first model, managerial model. The focus of a leader is to carry out its main duties and function with competence. Authority and influence are formal, hierarchical, and bureaucratic. This is managerial. The second model, participative model. Group decision-making process. Involvement leads to democratic attitudes, increases the effectiveness of teams and institutions, and is accountable. Responsibility can create a sense of belonging. A sense of belonging can contribute to nurturing. The third model, transformational model. A comprehensive model using a normative approach. This model is more centralistic, more direct, more control over the system. This model tends to act arbitrarily because of strong leadership, dare to sacrifice as heroes, charismatic, and consistent with peers in the various values and public interests. If this model runs optimally, it is able to involve stakeholders in achieving goals. Now we come to interpersonal model. More emphasis on a P2P and interpersonal relationship. The fifth model, transactional model. Relationship between leaders and subordinates based on the value agreements or exchange processes. In bracket, money transaction. The transaction is expected to benefit both parties. Model number 6, postmodern model. Allow to use democratic leadership. Focus on the vision developed by the leader. The leadership is concerned with the culture and symbols of a meaning that are formed by individuals or groups. Focuses on individual interpretations. The second model, contingency model, focus on the situation and evaluate how to adjust behavior to the environment. The eighth model, moral model, focus on values, beliefs, and ethics. Based on normative rational based on the consideration of right and wrong. The then model, instructional model for a leadership or a leader, focus on how to improve learning processes and outcomes. Okay, this is the end of the model for a leader or the organizer's model. And now we come to the third topic, that is about the organizational requirements or the requirements of a leader. The characteristic and requirements for a leadership according to Terry, 2009. A good leadership or a leader must have the following characteristics. 1. Energy. To achieve good leadership, good energy is needed, both physically and spiritually. A leader must be able to work in the long term and in an indefinite time. Whenever his trying is needed, he must be able to carry that out considering his position and function. Therefore, physical and mental health is absolutely necessary for a leader. The second characteristic, have emotional stability. An effective leader must release from prejudice, suspicion of his subordinates. On the contrary, he must be assertive, consistent in his action, confident, and have a social spirit towards his subordinates. The third characteristic, personal motivation. His desire to lead must come from his own inner impulses and not compulsion from outside himself. The external power is only a stimulus to the desire to become a leader. This is reflected in his persistence in his stance, a strong will to work, and the application of good personal characteristics in his work. Characteristic number 4, communication skill. A leader must have proficiency in conveying ideas both orally and in writing. This is very important for leaders to push forward subordinates, provide or receive information for the progress of the organization and common interests. Characteristic number 5, teaching skills. Often we hear that a good leader is basically a good teacher. Teaching is the best way to advance people on the importance of assigned tasks or so on. Characteristic number 6, social skills. A leader must know well about his subordinates. He must have the ability to cooperate with subordinates so that they really have the loyalty to work under his leadership. And now characteristic number 7, technical ability. Although it is said that the higher a person's leadership level, the less technical skills are needed because they prioritize managerial skills. But actually, this technical ability is also needed because with this technical ability, a leader will be easier to correct when an error occurs. Meanwhile, according to Indrafachrudi, 2006, leadership can only be carried out by a leader who has functions, roles, and tasks that are in line with the organizational goals. The requirements that must be done by a leader in an organization are as follows. 1. Leaders are responsible and accountable. Secondly, leaders balance the achievement of goals and priorities. Thirdly, leaders must think analytically and conceptually. Fourthly, the leader is mediator. Okay, students, these are our discussion. Related to the last opinion from Indrafachrudi 2006, that the requirements as a leader here, there are 4 requirements. Related to the 4 requirements here, I need you to describe more and also try to analyze more for each of the requirement. So I need all of you here try to describe about what does it mean with the requirement of a leader when the leaders balance the achievement of goals and priorities. And how about the second? About leaders must think analytically and conceptually. What should the leader do? Okay, students, this is about your assignment. So you need to write down on the comment of this video about the 4 characteristics mentioned by Indrafachrudi in 2007. I need you to analyze more and describe more about its requirement. Okay, I think that's enough for our learning today. Thank you so much. We are going to have a question and answer on our way group. Thank you. See you again on the next meeting. Best luck. Have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.